time.
My name isn't Adora. It's Mara.
Okay, first watching this episode, I was feeling something along the lines of, finally, yeah, answers, and alright, great, not really worth the wait. This episode is basically just Raz having flashbacks to Mara, meeting her, seeing bits of the catastrophe that unfolded 1,000 years ago, and trying to aid Adora in getting Mara's message on her ship working right. All the while, Adora follows her around, tries to figure out what the weapon Mara talked about is.
I need to find another way to help the rebellion. I know we can still win this.
Because that's what Adora said she would do at the end of last episode. Motivated by the argument last episode when Glimmer accused her of failing to be a good She-ra and getting her mother killed. That's something that did affect her greatly and wasn't resolved, lingering into this here.
We could use it to defeat the Horde and free Etheria, and then Glimmer would finally see that she was wrong about.
Thinking that finding some great and mighty super weapon will help her finally redeem herself in the eyes of her friend. Also, Swift wins there.
You gotta check up on old ladies alone in the woods. Come on, Adora. Have a heart.
With that being said, Adora isn't really around when Rez has her flashes to the past, so only we as the audience gets to see what Mara and even Lighthope were like back then. Adora only really gets to see Mara's message at the very end, which packs about everything she needs, I guess? Still doesn't make up for all the time Adora has embarked on a quest for answers, only to give everyone nothing but more questions. Seriously, don't keep piling up mystery and intrigue like that while giving us little to nothing in return. It does get annoying after a while and makes the reveal feel less impactful at times because you've just been building and building and building, and then you have this little reveal and it's like, oh, that's not what I was expecting. It's why I love Gravity Falls. That show has a heavy mystery element, but while the overarching one is left unanswered for most of the show, there's a boatload of smaller mysteries that we get some form of closure on, and because they don't build up too much anticipation, it means the big why getting answered during the last few episodes just doesn't feel like you were being jerked around for most of the show for no apparent reason.
Who are you? How did you find this place?
Anyway, my thoughts on Mara. I find her and Raz's interactions as neat. It certainly left me wanting to see more of this character.
It's been so long since it was the first time.
We get to see Raz first meeting Mara, and she just waltzed right up into her ship looking for sugar for a pie she keeps mentioning.
How can Madame Raz make a pie without sugar?
Then they just restate why the first ones were here to study Etheria's magic for some purpose. I mean, that's why the Planetary Network was mentioned back in Season 1.
We're here to study this planet's magic. Who'd know more about Etheria's magic than the Etherians?
And we even get to see Mara and Lighthope's relationship, where the former asks if you can just ignore Rez's little intrusion and not report it to their superiors.
Unauthorized presence not detected.
And seeing Lighthope struggle against her programming to help Mara is cute.
Any reports to the contrary are incorrect.
She is definitely far more open and friendly than the one we see now, and we'll know why later. Adora not being here for Raz's flashbacks I feel is a missed opportunity. She doesn't get to hear any of these interactions or get much information until the very end of the episode. Adora does find a data crystal and some old sugar for Raz.
This was left deliberately. Did it belong to Mara? Oh yes, dearie.
Not that Raz elaborates much on that, but in her next flashback...
I have to die! Ah!
In this one, Mara turns into She-ra to fight off a massive boar running at Raz, and wrecks the place in the process, until Raz gets between them and shows Mara the creature isn't some monster, and even gets to form some sort of magical connection between Mara and it.
Go now. Be at peace.
Then Raz gets Mara to heal the land without the sword, and explains to the puzzled Mara,
She-ra is not a sword. She-ra is you.
going on to say that magic is something that just exists in life, something that does its thing and doesn't need constricting to be used, while Mara marvels at it and wonders if what her people are really doing to the planet is really good.
They say we're the heroes, but I don't know if it's right.
She-ra protects Etheria. Your people made the sword, but they did not make She-ra.
And it doesn't seem like Adora gets much of that conversation.
You are never supposed to succeed. They made a plan for you. Raz could not do anything to help.
A shame, because I feel like this movie could have had an influence on her, since most of Adora's story is about trying to follow some idea of being a hero and fulfilling a role long abandoned, to be something that other people want and need, while Mara's brief snippets are about her breaking away from the fate her superior set her up for. So much so that she tried to tell Raz to get ready to warn this future She-ra, Adora.
Mara wanted me to warn Adora. There is a great evil at the heart of Etheria, Adora.
You know what, I'm just gonna skip ahead to where Raz gets aboard the ship and Mara's message gets fixed. This whole episode is mostly just the writers fapping about for 20 minutes and continuing to give non-committal answers while restating shit we already knew. Mara's message being fixed is the only flashback where Adora gets the full picture, and that's a good thing too, as it takes place minutes before Mara's ship crashes.
You have destroyed my intraplanetary system. You are behaving erratically.
The message is mostly the same from Season 3, except she gets one last conversation with Light Hope.
Your destiny to be She-ra.
She-ra's destiny was to be a part of your machine.
I've said before that there have been a few subtle and obvious warning signs about Light Hope in previous seasons, but the most blatant being back in Act 5. It's not that Light Hope is evil per se, more like Otto from WALL-E, a machine that's just following its programming to the letter.
There will be peace throughout the galaxy. You will be a hero.
And I enjoy that. I think there's not enough robots in fiction that are just following the rigid binary code.
The heart of Etheria will achieve its function, as will you.
And not just evil.
You're not Light Hope.
I am the same basic operating system.
Unfortunately for Adora, Raz never really got the chance to warn her about Light Hope and the first one's plans for She-ra, as she didn't remember any of this when she first met Adora, and the girl has already sent much of what is needed to prepare for the weapon for firing. Said weapon is...
We're rerouting Etheria's magic for their own purposes, siphoning it, collecting it in the planet's core.
a frickin' planet-sized bomb, apparently. And Mara says that Light Hope's been reprogrammed to set that thing off at all costs.
I couldn't stop them before, but I can now. Hiding is our only option.
It sucks to learn that everything Adora has been doing throughout the series has unintentionally been making Mara's breaking out of her destiny and sacrifice in vain. Even more so with how much hope Mara places on Adora to fix what she could not.
It's up to you now. In the end, I wasn't strong enough. Adora, you will be more powerful than they ever planned.
It certainly gets to Adora when she realizes it too.
I believe in you. You can save the world we love.
I did enjoy this episode, don't get me wrong, but I feel it is tainted by how the writers handle Adora's quest for answers beforehand. Like, a lot of this episode is just them restating information the audience already knows, and again, it's not like Adora is hearing any of this, it's just us, the audience, that is. So this does feel like 20 minutes of the show recapping information we already know, and I just really wish that Adora just heard a bunch of the stuff that Raz and Mara were talking to each other about. Because one thing I have noticed is that Light Hope lies to and manipulates Adora for the sake of her own personal gain, you know, kind of like what Shadow Weaver did. They told Adora how it was her destiny to become something she barely even chose. Following along, it almost became exactly what they wanted. Adora would have attacked and destroyed Thamor if not for her locating the sword and meeting Glimmer and Bow. She would have just kept following Light Hope's orders and likely set off the weapon if she didn't find Mara's ship and talk to Raz to get the message working right. Both led to turning points in Adora's life, where she realizes, oh my god, I have been lied to and manipulated all this time. I was just a stepping stone towards someone else's goal. I was played like a fiddle and I let them without noticing because I thought I was doing something good. And isn't that what happened to Mara in this episode?
The Heart of Etheria project. It was supposed to be an energy source capable of so much good.
She goes along with the Heart of Etheria project without knowing what it even is, just trusting in her superior until the very end, where Mara realized what was truly going on. But unlike Adora, she didn't have a chance to pull out at the last minute.
You are She-ra. This is your destiny.
All she could accomplish was trapping Etheria in a pocket dimension, then leaving a message to try and warn a future She-ra, all moments before she dies. And even then, that almost didn't work. Personally, I just feel like it would have been better if Adora could have gotten a more clearer picture of Mara and her story.
For you, Mara dearie.
So that was episode 9 for season 4 of Overanalyzing She-ra. If you like this video and want to see more, hit that thumbs up and subscribe button, then bell to get notifications about the next episode. I'll try to update this series every Thursday, so please share with other fans. Also check out my channel for my video essays, music analysis, and complex character series. You might find them enjoyable as well.